And the church, that's the one real blessing belonging to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. No matter where you go, you've got a ward or a branch or something, and those people are always your friends.
Yeah, they are, and it brings the touch of familiarity to your life.
Yes.
You're familiar with the gospel, and you're all kind of a gospel family. I agree with that.
Run and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
feel good about
You look
it.
out for each other.
In fact, before we moved there, Dad had written to the bishop, and he had given us a name of a person that knew about housing and that sort of thing. And she said to come to her place, and Dad will have to tell you the name of I don't know that name of that person, but she was a dear. I mean, here we were, 6 kids. Completely worn out. I was so completely worn out trying to take care of kids all that time from.
Yeah.
First, when we were going to Houston, we stopped at my mom and dad's.
Okay.
We went to Arizona, and then we stopped there, and then we went across Arizona and into.
Well, it'd have to be New Mexico.
New Mexico, Texas.
Yeah.
We went through. I think we went through El Paso also.
Probably.
And so we went there, then on to Texas, and so that was quite a job, quite a thing to go there with a blue station wagon. That's what we had.
I think you had that for a long time.
For quite a while.
I
Yeah,
think I remember that. It was up in the Orem house that you still had it.
Yeah, I think so.
I
had
so.
2 of them, one and then another blue one later.
Maybe I'm thinking of the later one.
Remember the later one. Anyway, we went to there, and this lady, and Dad went out looking for a home, and he found this one on Effie Street, and the man said $100
a month.
A month.
Wow.
That was what we paid, $100 a month. It had 2 bedrooms, a living room, dining area off the side, and a kitchen, and then then there was a back place that the boys slept. We put bunk beds out there. I don't know whether they must have had them. Maybe we took them. I don't know. Anyway, that's where you 3, Michelle, Denise, and you slept in one bedroom.
Yeah.
Dad and I slept in another one, and then the 3 boys slept out there.
Yeah.
And so that's when we went to Houston, and like I said, it was good. We didn't have much.
Were you happy? Was it a happy time?
I think it was a happy time. The boys, the kids all seemed to thrive.
Yeah.
There. And
Greg and Jeff, and to an extent Mark, have related very fond memories of Houston, and kind of back then they had some open land, some wilderness. I don't know if it's wilderness, but a bayou back there that you could.
There was 2 bayous. We went one on each side of the road, the beginning of it and the end of it. There were bayous, and then on one bayou there was the railroad track, and on that side there was an empty field, quite a big empty field. That's where the chiggers are.
That's where they were. I got those on my mission a couple of times, and I understand what chiggers do now.
Yeah,
they're no
chiggers
fun.
are not good. Okay, and then so we got this home, and like I said, it was, and our friends were definitely. I mean, one of our good friends. Name. Gosh, I should have looked at more of this. Anyway, one of our friends was a technician at a hospital. I mean, that was what he was, and so that he made good money.
Yeah.
And they had a beautiful home.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They didn't look down at us at all. They just
that's great.
took care of us and everything. And then I guess my biggest friend was Peggy Davis. Peggy and Dell Davis and she was the one that had the boys, more or less the boys' age and Denise's age, and Michelle's age. They were all boys. And anyhow, Dale Davis, he was a worker in the oil business, so he made money.
Yeah.
And then another good friend, Betty, and whatchamacallit, he was a doctor, and he was, anyway, we had friends that were, all of them had good jobs. We were the only ones that were sort of, yet I think the kids felt just as good as any of them. You know?
And those families helped you feel that way.
Yeah. They were very good.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it was very good. I guess that's one of the reasons that Houston was never a big black mark on my place, because that was the people that lived there that helped us to get through it.
Well, yeah, and here you are with 6 kids, and Dad must have been doing a lot of work, schoolwork, and busy with
and
his.
He became the ward clerk.
Oh, so he even more so with a little bit of Sunday work that he needed to do.
He did.
So everybody that I've talked to that has memories of Texas have all talked fondly of it. And yes, it may be the house, and it may be the friends, but I think, Mom, it's also what you and Dad brought to the family. It was stability, loving family that kids love to play. Brothers and sisters love to play with each other and be brothers and sisters. And
they had different things in the summertime. The school was not, they could walk to the school.
Uh-huh.
And so, and the school was a little bit hard for Greg, because he was behind the regular ones, but he made it. Jeff made it. That was Mark. And
what year of grade would Greg have been in?
I think he was third. I think he went third, fourth, and fifth grade there.
Okay.
Third, fourth, and fifth. Jeff would be right behind him. Second, fourth, third, and fourth. Maybe it was more one year, and then Mark was right behind him. And
do you remember the school?
I'm gonna say Park, but that I'm not sure. I should have looked that up. I've got it in the diary
somewhere.
Sort of where. Next time you come, I'll tell you what it is.
Okay.
I didn't know I was going to get this for. So anyhow.
How was Dad? How did he respond to his education at Rice? Did he enjoy it? Was it?
I think he enjoyed it to an extent. He was just telling me the other day that he had a nightmare about going there, and one of the professors was after him because he wasn't getting something done, and that was just, I mean, he's been 40 years from there. It was a stressful time for Dad, because he had school, and he had to get through this, and then like I said, we didn't have much money, and he bought a scooter, and so that's what he went to school on, and he left the station wagon for Mom.
And Rice wasn't too far away from your home, was it?
No, it wasn't. There again, I don't know how far. We were sort of in the middle of Rice University and the chapel.
Oh,
the LDS chapel.
Yeah.
That was sort of what we looked for.
Okay.
That's why we were living where we were. But it was really pretty good. It's Bel Air instead of Houston.
Okay.
It's Bel Air that it was on.
Okay.
And so that was. And apparently the house is still there.
Yeah, I think Jeff went back and visited it.
I think Greg has said that it's still there, and
yeah.
He says it.
So Dad finishes up his doctorate degree, and is BYU just happy to have him back at that time?
Yeah, and then he went back to teaching at BYU, and then
we
we moved back to what I call the greenhouse. That's the one that you sort of remember. That's not too far from the state hospital.
no, it's right on the grounds almost still. Is that so? Susan, was she brought home in that house?
Yes, the greenhouse. She was brought home in the greenhouse. I was pregnant when I left Houston.
Okay.
When we left Houston, we left Houston in August, and she was born in November. So that was, so we.
So you were 6 months along already. This is where my memory starts to come in. One of my memories of that house is when Susan was born. Of course, you were still in the hospital with her, and Grandma Brimhall came over a couple of nights and made us food while you were gone.
Was that right?
Yeah,
Don't
and I remember that because I was asking Grandma, why are you here and where's Mom? And she answered me saying that you had just had a baby girl and it was going to be my sister and that you were at the hospital still. And so I was so excited to see a little baby. And so we're in the greenhouse, and then you take a big leap of faith and move into a fairly new home, if not brand new home, up in Orem.
In Orem, that's right.
Yeah, and that's the house that I was raised in. They're on 8 South, and the boys, really, all of us were raised there.
What was the address?
789 South, 590 East.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that home.
Yeah.
Of course, it's the home that I grew up in, and the family that I grew up with. But while we moved in there, we were one of the only houses that were there. As you go north from that house, it began to become more and more orchards and dirt fields and dirt hills.
The McQuivvies were still there.
Yes.
And all that line, all
the Greens were there.
The fifth, those homes.
The
were
590
all there.
were there.
Yeah, 590 was all there.
If you go to the next street over, it was 600 East.
Yeah, that was where the orchards were.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't too far away that you could.
Did you buy the house at a fairly good cost? Was it?
We thought we were way overhead. And I might be wrong, but I think we got that for $19,000.
That's what Dad told me was $19,000,
and we thought we were way overhead. But then we weren't making that much either.
Yeah, and the house had an unfinished basement, maybe even a unfinished sub basement, and then an unfinished step down basement.
Yeah.
And so Dad had to do some work with that.
Yeah, I think the basement was. Yeah, he had to put up walling.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's a good home.
And this is the home that Jennifer and then Debbie were born into.
Yeah.